Can we just, for a brief second, talk about PLT's rebranding and how this could affect their sales? Welcome back, guys. Hi, it's Mareeyah.O. I'm a creative strategist and a graphic designer, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand or your career, your creative career, with design. But anyways, as I was saying, so basically, PLT is a very lovely brand. Don't get me started. I've been shopping with PLT for a very long time. However, the recent rebrand from that pink, which I think was very, cute and girly, to the reddish brownish, burgundy kind of color with like the mature horse and design, I think is very mature, first and foremost. Is really nice. And for us Christian girls, it's really nice because we get to keep that modesty because the fashion has changed and the fashion outlook has really changed. However, when you want to rebrand as a brand, and I've noticed this in a lot of other brands aside from PLT, and I think maybe it is a topic that needs to be spoken on. I don't know if they may have had the advice team on the designs and stuff like that, which, because like I said, the branding is really nice. It's very like upper class, but changing from being a brand that is already well known to that color and then just ultimately switching it up is a bit different. Because imagine, like, let's say your very known like popular brands as well, like let's say McDonald's or something else, was to like basically switch their branding overnight. It just builds this distrust with people, so people think that, oh yeah, like, I don't know this brand, I know McDonald's, I just woke up and it was like that. So that's an example. So just like changing it overnight, it can take a while to kind of adjust to the audience. And one thing that if you do want to always rebrand, there should always be this teaser. Let your loyal customers, let them know that there's going to be a rebranding. Let them know that, okay, things are going to switch up, things are going to change. And like, it's not just going to be this color all the time. It's not going to be this personality and this brand. Because when you're changing, and I've done so many videos on this, if you haven't seen them, you should definitely go watch that on how to start a brand. When you're starting a brand naturally and starting off generally, you need to always think about like the brand personality and the brand tone, what you want to come across to people, what people are going to know about that brand. Like, so, okay, if you're a child brand, for instance, so if you haven't watched this video, what I'm telling you will sound like new to you. So basically go watch that and then come back. But you can also watch this as well. If you're a brand for children, you don't want to sound too mature, too, vulgar. You want to have that childish and like this playful side. And so maybe like the kind of like text you use, the words you say, the imagery will become very like playful. I don't think I really touched up so deeply in that video on like how to make your brand stand like that, but I probably would definitely do a video on that, like how to appeal to your brand. But basically that is an example of what you want to do. And if you're doing something like that, then naturally you should, when you're changing the brand, to then reflect something else that's going to have a different tone of voice. So instead of then becoming playful and childish, maybe you want to start appealing to adults, for instance. Then you want to kind of like make sure that the words you're saying, the things you're doing, it actually appeals to that. So like the kind of language, maybe you pick up the lingo, what the youth say nowadays, the teens saying, that kind of thing. And then you want to kind of like incorporate that into your brand, basically. But what they've just done is just like woken up and just like, yeah, hey, hi, PLT, new brand, new colors. And definitely people are not dealing with it, because not only did they just change the brand image, they also increased the price of their products and things like that. So when they increased the price of the products, they basically made it that, oh, like, okay, you're going to now be buying from PLT Premium. And it's like, I mean, if you also didn't ready your customers or your clients to say that, okay, yeah, I'm switching up, I'm increasing my price, things are going to change from now on, we're going to be, having high top class. Once you start preparing them in their mind, they start thinking, okay, yeah, you know what, when I'm shopping from this brand, then I'm definitely going to have to then maybe like get in some more work, or like find more money to like pay for the things that I like buying from this brand, especially if you're a fashion brand, for instance. Because something like maybe like, hair, and that everyone gets their hair done like mostly in the months. Some people are not constantly buying fashion, so already you're not having a lot of like regular sales with people. I don't know about PLT sales, honestly. This is just the general topic against like fashion brands, but you're already not making like so much sales because the people are not, they don't find clothes like a necessity, for instance. So yeah, obviously you need clothes and you need to go out and things like that, so of course they would have so many people still buying from them, but it won't be as much as like, let's say, someone that was doing into like hair or something that was very essential. And then so if you're going into that and then you're saying, okay, now I want to now put a higher price, but you used to start at a low price before, then, you know, it could be like, it could just mislead some people. You'd lose a lot of people. I don't know if it's people, I know that more obviously maybe Christian girlies are going to start buying from PLT now, because considering that before it used to be like low cuts and bum shorts and things like that. So I think for other people now that maybe it doesn't fit their personality, it doesn't fit their style, they might stop buying from it, considering aside from the style part is also the price and the cost, because even though for the Christian girlies as well, it could be a cost to them because they're so used to PLT being affordable. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there are fashion brands that do sell a high price that people still buy from. I mean, there's House of CB, there's Poly, and all of these other brands, they've started from the get-go as that. So they've given their clients, their customers, the people that buy from them, that notion already that, yeah, I'm come with a cost, it's going to be expensive, it's not going to be unaffordable or cheap side, or, you know, not saying that it's cheap, not saying PLT is cheap, but it's not going to be on the affordable side. So for PLT to just like wake up and just be like that, like, it's a bit of a shocker, because, you know, it's a change of narrative. I really do want to see how things go with things. And like, I mean, I know that there was a video, and I'm thinking we're going to try and insert it here, of the owner of PLT saying that they didn't really like the direction they were going with. And it's like, okay, cool, but if they didn't like the direction they were going with, that is why it's really important at the beginning of a stage of a brand that you already have your vision, your mission. And I mentioned this in so many videos as well. Like, even if you do something like, let's say, you know, a brief just like look into the future of how you want this brand to be. That way, when you start the brand, you don't just, it doesn't come with a shocker. And I think what happens is that there are a lot of people starting brands, starting like businesses out of that, okay, I want to really do this, which is really great. There's passion behind it, but there needs to be research, there needs to be planning, there needs to be, you know, all of the things together, so that it doesn't come down later on. You then just like, you're doing interviews where you're crying and basically appealing to people that, oh, you know, my brand wasn't that great, now I want you to shop from this brand now, there's better. And as well, because you can't be really using people for experiments. It's like starting something and just changing it up when people have become so used to the brand, and when you've already known, it's a different case if maybe your brand wasn't excelling at the beginning, like if it wasn't known, if people didn't really like tie it together, they're really like, oh, okay, PLT, but they didn't know the brand and they weren't really shopping, then in case, okay, then I can quickly do a rebrand and then maybe I get more sales and bigger people. But not when you're already getting sales. It's very drastic. And so when you're doing those kind of things, it is possible to still do a rebrand even when your brand is big, but you need to basically give people the heads up. You need to give them like that idea of like, okay, this is what's happening. So planning and just like coming up with different, like, it's just like when you go for an interview, they would ask you, what do you see yourselves doing in 10 years, in 5 years? Because they want to know that, okay, would your plans align with my business? Would they align with my company? So you don't want to now also do that with your business when you've put in so much money. And he said he didn't like the way his brand was going. But, you know, when you're with, for example, you're working with so many other influencers to promote your brand, that's when the idea of rebranding can then come in. Not that you've worked with them and it kind of seems like, okay, there's no more collaboration going on, or the collaboration isn't so forefront, then you then decide to rebrand. It doesn't really, I know that somehow you may be like, oh, maybe we should do it this way, but kind of like in the moment of collaboration. Because I'll give an example. Like, I mean, one of the two most famous influencers that PLT worked with was Mareeyah and, you know, India. They worked with Mareeyah and India, and Mareeyah and India have two different aesthetics. They have two different styles completely, and the style that PLT PrettyLittleThing has currently gone with now it's kind of like, I feel it's more directed to like the Mareeyah style, if that makes sense, the very cover up kind of style, and it's not really too much on the it girl kind of side, which they still do have some of their products and stuff, like the clothing like that is a bit of the India style. But for me, it's like, okay, if you were going to go down that route, then you should have done it while then collaborating with Molly May, so that it just makes sense, because even one of my friend was like, you know, it kind of, so you kind of saw it coming that they were going to do something like this. But anyways, like, that's enough being said, because honestly, like, if you want to start a brand, just plan and prepare. But I wish them all the luck. I can't wait. I'm still gonna shop from them. I really want to shop, and I'm gonna shop and then do a video of me unboxing to see the new packaging, because my friend and I were like, we definitely want to see that, so maybe it should be in the next video. But definitely that is something that I still wish them luck, and I still will shop from them, because I've been a PLT fan. I guess they probably still have their loyal fans like myself. But yeah, when you're starting your brand, that's just one thing that you want to take into consideration. Anyways, I hope that video helped. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this new PLT rebrand, and if you were to start a brand, or if you do have a brand, are you going to rebrand? If you were to rebrand your brand and come up with new colors and styles and logos and stuff, what would you do? Like, would it be the same way? How would you plan for it? I would do another video on that, but I just wanted to hear everyone's like ideas and thoughts about this new brand. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, I hope this video helped. If it did, and if it did not, still don't leave without subscribing. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and you know, share among your friends. I will see you guys in my next video, and if you want more videos, just click on the notification bell so that you can be notified when I drop another one. But bye for now.